Everybody, and welcome to the Touring Car Sim Racing League. I'm your host, I'm Andy Pauly. I'm back just for this evening proceedings. If you're just joining us, we're into the opening stages of qualifying. That's me, Andy Pauly, and we are at the Estoril circuit. It's hot, sunny as always. It's going to be a close pack, I think, tonight. There's 22 drivers in. I think that is going to be the maximum that we will see this evening. It's a tight, twisty little track, which promotes super close and fantastic racing. You're going to see a lot of teamwork, I think, tonight, especially from the Apex Predator boys. You can see Poddy Flat currently first out on track. 33.143 is his thing. It's not going to be it can be really no surprises. This is a tricky corner, little right-hander. Lots of damage I've seen there going through the opening stages of the qualifying practice. So that has caused lots of issues. It's very, very close. It's a very, very small, tight, little twisty track, and that's always going to cause lots and lots of problems. Question is, we're going to see a lot of drivers popping in their opening times. Well, they're basically going to have to do that. So Poddy goes fastest at the moment, and then we're going to start to see all the drivers going quicker and quicker and quicker. Bojan's back at top, 140.349. Theoretical fastest lap time is a 139. I'm expecting a 139.8, so there is still time to be had. That's the two teammates of Russ Butcher and Craig Deeks as they both cross the line. Getting themselves up and going. T-Jokes pops himself into 5th position. Papa Dim crosses the line. Race winner. Oh, great. The smoke's back again. But there we go. There's Papa Dim currently 3rd fastest at the moment. Jean Petra's ahead of him and Bojan's at the front. They are all going to get a lovely little tow down here, basically. That's what's going to happen. There you can see Stu Neal in the background, obviously carrying the ballast. And there in the 53 behind him, that is Shaw's user. Tim Van Loon is there as well, so they're all starting to put in these opening times. The 10:20 to go on a 140, it's still a 139. Oh, he's used all of the track going through that turn. He's got to be careful. Yeah, and he's run out. And that's what I was saying. I've seen that time and time again in these opening practice session, is that a lot of drivers lost a lot of time and racked up points purely because they were going through that corner too quick. And that's what's cost Poddy the possibility of getting onto the front row. Jean Petra should go fastest, 140.153. Still faster, still a faster time. George Rallitas goes 2nd fastest at the moment. This is Butcher. Down in 15th position at the moment. The question is, he's got his teammate just ahead of him, dragging him along. That's Craig Deeks. What can Deeks do as he crosses the line? Doesn't improve. Does Butcher improve? Only into 14th. Nenad is currently 6th fastest, and Van Skeppen has got himself into 4th. Big surprise there for Rallytas. I didn't expect Rallytas to get himself into second position. And that's raw pace as well. That isn't anything special. That's no heroics. That's raw pace. Andy Foster currently in 19th position. Trebek, Lava, Lemming, Adam Wilkinsons and Stephen Elwood. They are all currently no lap time set. And that brings up the total field of 23. Andy Foster needs to get himself a time on the board in that Honda number 18. Crosses the line, gets himself into 17th position, ahead of Derek Neal, who is 18th. Van Skeppen, just keeping it on the tarmac at the moment, currently in 4th. Fastest, Sector 1. Just nigh on borderline, Sector 2. Keep this up, he'll get himself into a front row position, but it's the last couple of corners that always seems to be catching the drivers out now. It's that final sector that's caused all of the issues so far. 8 minutes to go of the opening qualifying session. Crosses the line, doesn't improve. He's 4/10. He lost 4/10 in that final sector, and that was the issue. That's what I've been seeing in the practice session. There's T-Joke at the moment in 14th position, fastest in Sector 1. Race winner, don't forget, so he has got the talent, he has got the ability to get himself onto that front row, get himself pole position with less than half of the qualifying session to go. Ooh, keeps all four wheels on the road. That is going to be a tricky position. They're going to have to sort themselves out in the race. He's up 1/10 of a second through Sector 2. Can he carry this on now through the final sector? It's long right-hander as it goes and goes and goes and goes. Can he cross the line? He will cross the line, but will he cross it in the front of the grid? Will we see that 139.9? Crosses the line, 140.153 is what it's coming at. He lost 3/10 of a second in that final sector. 3/10 of a second. He was down. They're all losing time in that final sector. It's this long right-hander here. The ability to get that car turned in early and just get that power down. That's what's causing it. Jean Petra is 1/1000th of a second behind in second position. Rallytas 125. Poddy should get himself top 3. Goes into third by 3/3,000ths of a second. The front three are separated by less than 3/1000ths of a second. Jean Petra, he's lost 1/100th of a second in that sector. The question is, can he push this now? Can he get himself through the last sector? He's down 1/10. He's down 1/10. It's going to be invalid. Lap is invalid. He will not go faster. He will not go faster. That's cost him dearly in the closing 6 minutes of this practice session. Crosses the line and won't go any faster. He won't go any faster and he won't do anything special. He's going to have to reset and go again. And that's going to hurt him, I reckon. That's really, really going to hurt him. Poddy Flack again. But Poddy Flack's bigger issue is that final sector behind him. That is... I've forgotten his name. That's Shaw's Yusa, who's down in 11th position. So he's going to be helping out his old buddy. 2/10 lap invalid. He's gone off the road somewhere. Jean Petra's just gone fastest as well, a 140.141. It's that final sector. If they can hook up that final sector, they can get themselves into a 139.9, but they're all just losing so much time. There's just not any confidence in the final sector. Poddy will go a bit faster, but nothing really special. 1/10 off in that sector at the moment. This is Van Skeppen. What can he do? There goes T-Joke just ahead. Can he do anything special from here? He will cross the line. He keeps this pace up. 2/10, 224. Stays 7th, no faster. That's Adam Wilkinson. He's in the 25, so there is currently would be 4 little Alfa Romeos. But he's got to set himself a time on the board. That's what he has to do down in 18th position. Lava Lemming, at the moment, only American running, is currently no time aboard. Let's have a look at Lava Lemming. There he is, 20 in the number 29 at the moment. He's 1.8 off the lead. He will be battling Adam Wilkinson, who's 4.2 are currently off pole position. Lava's got to get himself, he's locked up a little bit there. Well, I say that's the smoke. Everyone loves a bit of drift smoke. At the moment, he's pulling along T-Joke. Lava's got to get himself a time on the board again. That comes with confidence in the game. He's not really impeding T-Joke because T-Joke is on a hot lap, and so is Lava, so he's entitled to it. Question is, what can he do from here? Right, there's Stu Neal currently going through at the moment. Up in sector 1, he's up in sector 2, he's 2/10 up in sector 2, but it's the sector 3 times which is costing the drivers. That's where everybody's making or breaking their laps. So the question is, can he keep this on now? Round the final bend he goes. Can he put this on pole position, provisional pole position with 3 minutes to go of this qualifying session? He's going to cross the line in 3, 2, 1, goes a 1:40. 0.40, 1/10 of a second up. It's that final sector again. He lost potentially 2/10 of a second in that final sector. 2/10 of a second is what his costs Stu Neal. But he's still on pole position now, and it's all to play for. So if you're not on a lap, it's basically game over. T-Joke's got himself into 3rd position. Rallytas is down to 5th. Bill Campion, 1.6 seconds currently off pole position. At this pace, he should get himself 18th, I think. Just above Andy Foster, just below Carl Smith. Question is, what can he do? Can he maintain this pace? Can he maintain that 1.6 seconds? This is important for the Pro-Am Series. Question is, what can Bill Campion do here? Watch out as he crosses the line. And he goes 20th. Stays 20th fastest. Again, it's that final sector. It's that final sector is costing him. What is Jean Petra doing? Is he setting anything alight, doing anything special in these closing stages of this qualifying session? Nenad's down in 10th at the moment. He's right next to Shaw's Usa. That's going to be important for the championship. Right, Jean Petra needs to get himself, needs to find himself a 10th of a second within this race, within this qualifying session. They all love to smoke. There's Bill Campion. He loves to smoke. He's smoking his tyres and not cigars. 1/10 up in that sector. So unless he does anything special, I don't think it's going to happen. Can Van Skeppen improve? No, he's not green in any sector. Crosses the line, goes 3:11, closes the gap a little bit, but again, he's losing. They're all losing time in that final sector. All losing that time in that final sector. I don't think Jean Petra set anything alight here. He's 1/10 up in that first sector. He's down 2/10 in that sector 2. He won't do anything special here. He won't do anything special in this position. What can Boki do? Again, 8/10 down in sector 2, so nothing special really. I think unless, I think this might be it with 27 seconds remaining of this qualifying session. Yeah, there you go. They're all going to start peeling into the pits effectively. So there is confirmation of your provisional qualifying results. Stu Neal, pole position. Jean Petra, T-Joke from Poddy Flack, from Nick Papadim, from George Rallytas, from Bojan, from Van Skeppen, from Rob South. Good job for Rob South, actually. Nenad from Shaw's, from Tim Van Loon, from Russ Butcher, from Craig Deeks, from Trebek Boki, Carl Smith, Andy Foster, Bill Campion, Derek Neal, Stephen Elwood, Lava Lemming, and Adam Wilkinson. And that's how it sets up your grid. Papadim is still going, but I don't think he's going to do anything special from this position. He effectively has until the clock runs out. And that's how it stacks up for your qualifying positions for race 1. Right, so if you are new to the stream, I am Andy Pawley, that's me. And we are at the Estoril Circuit Tanque Wreck whatever that is. Somebody can pronounce it better than I can, but that's where we are. It is 3 races tonight. It's 15 minutes in each race. The starting positions of race 1 have just been determined by the qualifying that's just happened. Race 2 is a finishing positions of race 1 determines the starting positions for race 2. Oh, has Papa Dim changed his car? No, he hasn't. The starting positions for race 2. For race 3, there is a spin wheel that happens between races 1 and 2, and that will be a reverse grid from the finishing positions of race 1. And that's always done to give some other drivers the opportunity to get themselves onto the grid, get themselves a position, basically, that they might be able to get themselves top of the row. And that's what's going to be exciting and fun, I think, tonight. It's a tricky track. The formation lap now stacks up for the next hour, for the next minute, and it's on the board, and then we will go racing for race 1. I think it's going to be tricky. I think the drivers are really going to have to think about this track. It's tight, it's twisty, the runoffs are harsh. It's an old school track. It's not like this modern ones where you've got masses and masses of run out, and that always causes issues, that always causes problems. We've still got that in-game smoke. I haven't figured out how to turn that off yet, but somebody will at some point. So yeah, I think it's going to be tricky. I think it's going to be a tightly closed race. I think it's going to be action-packed, and we will see what happens, as they say. Right, watch the lights at the top left. You'll see them flash 15 times, and we will go racing for race 1. Place your bets. Who's going to be winner? Is Stu Neal going to be leading into turn 1? And it's lights out, and away we go. And they've all launched into that first corner. The question is, who's going to be victorious? They're all smoking as they all dive down into turn 1. This is a right-hander, don't forget. Oh, there's contact in the background. Van Loon, is it Van Loon? It's Bogey. It's all gone round. It's all gone off in the front. 55's off every Lava Lemming. Tim Van Loon's off. Bojan's off. They're going to have to get themselves turned around real quick. At the front, Stu Neal has had the perfect start. At the moment, he's leading from Jean Petre. T-Joke riding on board with him now. Just left of him, there's Poddy Flack. It is 2 different manufacturers, and right behind that you have George Rallytas, who's right in the mix there. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 5 car. There's 6 and 7, all nose to tail diving through. The question is, can Poddy Flack in third get ahead of T-Joke? He won't through this sector. There goes Poddy Flack. Right behind that, that's Rallytas and Van Skeppen. Poddy Flack riding on board with him now. He's building up that speed. Got the gearbox into 3rd, 4th, 5th. He's going to go a little down now into 5th, 4th, down into 3rd. Through the right-hander he goes. He carries so much more speed. He's so much more confident through that sector. As Shaw's user has nipped through again. He's up 4 places. He's making progress. As they fly through into this corner, you can see there Craig Deeks, Rob South side by side. Rob South is on the right side. He's the number 18. He'll have the corner. There goes Trebek. What a move. But he got stuck by Deeks, and that pushed him into the clutches, and Butcher licked his chops, said thank you very much. Through he goes. What a race. Absolutely sensational. Running on board now from Craig Deek. He's got Butcher right by him. Their teammates, don't forget. Rob South just ahead is all over this. Question is Jean Petre going to go? This is for the battle for the lead, don't forget. But we're going to go back to Trebek. Oh, he was sniffing around, but he wasn't all there. Carl Smith, what has happened? Is that Elwood? I think Steve Elwood had a braking issue all by himself. But Butcher, back with Butcher, side by side there with Trebek. Trebek is in that Renault Megane. Question is, can he get through here? He's going to have the inside corner crucially, and he's got it done. Up 1 position. Question is, can he hold on to this now? Can Trebek absolutely cement this position as we ride on board coming out the smoke? This is Trebek. He's in 11th, don't forget. Right behind that is Russ Butcher. We leave this battle and rejoin the Derek Neal and Stephen Elwood battle. This is for 16th and 17th position. These two are absolutely nose to tail. Through the left hander they go. Needs to keep this tidy. Yellow DHL Audi versus Tim Van Loon's got past as well. Riding from that rear camera now of Elwood. Question is, can Neil get past him? That's Derek Neil, not Stu Neil. He's leading the race at the moment. Pascal's keeping him busy, but this is where the action is. Question is, can Derek Neil now, riding on board through the right-hander, he won't get through there. I say he won't get through there. He's had a much better drive coming out of the right-hander. That's really given him confidence to go after Elwood. He's put his nose in front. Can he get it crucially? Keep it there? No, he can't. He's got to settle and resettle for that position. We leave that battle and rejoin the battle for Papadim and Shaw's User. There goes Shaw's User, left-hand side. There's the leader still battling. There's Poddy stuck behind T-Joke at the moment. Trebek's going to go for it in the background. Up the side of Butcher. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He's outbraked himself. Can he close the door? No, he can't, because Butcher's now side by side. Yeah, he's had to I think Butcher's let that one. Trebek's run off the road all by himself. He ran out of road. Question is, can he still hang this out to dry? He won't round there. That's compromised Butcher. He's in the Alpha to the right. The Alpha to the left. That's his teammate. He's absolutely, these two are all over the road. Absolutely banging doors. Question is, are they going to run out of instant points before they run out of time in the road at the moment? As you can see here, going from that rear camera of Butcher, there is Trebek, who's kept him busy. And you can see here, riding on board with Boki, he's in 13th position. And this is an absolute massive battle. Two Alfa Romeos versus two different manufacturers, three different manufacturers. They are absolutely nose to tail. Through the right hander they go. Oh, it goes Trebek again up the inside. They've been side by side for the entire race. You won't go around here. Someone's got to let this go. And it was crucially Russ Butcher had to let Trebek have that position. Craig Deek riding on board with him now. He is the cork in the bottle. Alpha, Renault, Alpha, Seat, Alpha, three Alfa Romeos. Absolutely nose to tail through this long right sector as we go through, riding on board now with Ninad. You can see he's absolutely licking his chops. Right, Jean Petra, does he go for the move on Stu Neil? No, he doesn't. Does Shaw's used to go on Papadim? No, he doesn't. And the other battle that's still raging on at the moment. He's made a mistake. Can Trebek nip and tuck before he loses two? He loses 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. Trebek's lost 4 positions. He technically started 15th, so he's up 1, but that's how it goes. Ninad now is going to go up the inside there of Boki. Boki's in the 96. That's the black and green car at the moment. I think Boki's going to let him go. No, he isn't. There's a little bit of a love tap between both of them. Trebek has to dive out the way so he doesn't get in any trouble. Bojan has a DNF. It's a real shame for Bojan, but that's how it is sometimes. Right, Poddy, Flack and T-Jokers were still fighting, but George Rallytas is in 4th position. He's got Van Skeppen for company behind him. There go the race leaders. The question is, riding on board now with Van Skeppen, he's in 6th position. Don't forget, started 8th, he's up 2. Through the right-hander we go. He needs to keep this nice and tidy. They'll dial up the gearbox. But as we ride on board now with T-Joke, this is that tight right, that corner. That's the corner it is. Through the left-hander we go now. Needs to keep this nice and tidy. He's in 3rd position, so he's going to want to keep as much as he can with this. Right, Carl Smither and Lava Lemming are absolutely nose to tail. Lava's in the 29th, and the 9 of that is Carl Smith. 2 equal machines, 2 different nationalities from 2 different... he's gone up the inside. Carl Smith's not going to go through there. He's going to get a DNEQ if he's not too careful with that. Too many of those with just under half race distance to go. The field is absolutely electric. Right, we leave that battle and rejoin the Butcher battle. Right, so that's done at the moment. So these two are 2 different sides of the racetrack at the moment. Riding on board here with Lava Lemming. Question is, can he get up into 19th position? Through the right-hander he goes. He's just not confident on the brakes at the moment. He hasn't got the confidence of the other drivers, but that's how it is. Right, Poddy Flack is behind George Rallytas. George Rallytas started 6th. He's now in 4th. He's up 2. needs to be careful. He might get himself a nosebleed if he's not too careful being that high up, but we will see. You can see 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, and then there's the gaggle of cars behind that. Tim Van Loon is side by side with Elwood. Van Loon is on the right, he's the 99. Sayat, that's the yellow one, and the Tim Coronel, that's the DHL. That should be job done. Nice and simple for him. Tim Van Loon is down 4, so he's got to get gone if he wants to get some more positions. He's top 16, so he has an opportunity of a reverse grid at the moment. Simon Trebek and Craig Deeks are at it again. You couldn't make this up at the moment, so Nenad's navigated himself through that. Started 10th, lost 3 to 4 positions, back into 10th at the moment. But Craig Deeks is the cork in this bottle as we ride from the front, and you can see from the back, there is Trebek, there is Butcher. Behind that is Boki as it stands at the moment. Right, we're going to leave this and have a quick look at Pascal. No heroics from him. What can Trebek do from here? Riding on board now with Trebek. He's going for a move. He's going for a move. His problem's going to be under braking. Can he get the car stopped? Can he get rotated? Yes, no, yes, no. A little bit of a love tap between the two, but crucially now, Trebek will have the inside to this corner, to the right-hander. A little bit of a squeeze there, but he gets through. Can Craig Deeks launch an attack? No, he can't. He outbrakes himself. Butcher, in the other 69 behind him, just manages to hold that position. He had to dart himself out the way. One, not that one, it's the second one. That's Butcher, and now he's got Boki for company. Riding on board now with Boki. Bill Campion's up 4, he's in 15th. There goes Boki. Can he do anything? We're riding on board with Boki, don't forget. Car in front, that's Butcher. Butcher now has that man all over his rear chufter. Question is, can he push this now? Can that man, Boki, in that number 96, that's the green and black Sayat, can he do this? Can he push this? Can he get himself that position? I'm not sure he can. It's reset all over again. Right, someone we're not really talked about. Shaw's useful and Rob South. Rob's not going to go through there. Yes, he is. That was very audacious as a manoeuvre. He just went full commitment on that one, really. Can't say enough with that. It's scruffy, but he got the job done. So I'm pretty sure Shaw's user will give him the old little thank you very much and push it back at some time, but we will see. Right, riding on the leaders at the moment. Oh, he's got a much better drive. He's got a much better drive, but Stu Neal is entitled to one blocking manoeuvre, which he partakes in, and that's blocked up Jean Petre all over again. So that's really compromised him. Right, D-Joker's gone. He's really struggling now. So George Rallytas has closed that gap now to 0.2 of a second. Has T-Joke run out of tyres? Has he pushed that little car, that little Peugeot, one step too far? And does that really cost him? Poddy Flack behind is pushing Rallytas along. He's saying, come on, we gotta go. Question is, can he go fast enough? And that's where we are. This is T-Joke, he's in 3rd. There's Rallytas, he's in 4th. That's a Honda, don't forget. Behind that, that's Poddy Flack. That is a Sayat. Behind that, that's the yellow and purple one of Van Skeppen. We're riding on board with him now, and he's pushing and pushing and pushing. But they're all holding stations with less than 4 minutes to go of race 1. They're all going to be at the near end of those incident points, so they cannot afford to lose anything. Van Skeppen trying to do the old righty, lefty, righty. He goes too far. He's going to go in the wall. He nearly did. And look at Papa Dim. That little mistake going through there has cost him nearly 0.2 of a second, and Nick Papadim has closed that gap now. He's within 0.3. The question is, can Papadim strike here? Can Papadim do something? That's Papadim. He's the number 18, don't forget, as we start all over again. Right, back to the front, back down to the leaders. Back in, can he go? He's got to go left. He gives him a pop every time. So I'm not sure if Jean Petre is helping Stu Neal along here. There could be tactical play going on, because that's the 3rd or 4th time I've now seen that happen. So I'm wondering if Jean Petre is pushing Stu Neal along to keep him in that position, because it's after the championship, and that might be important. That might be what's going on here. We'll have a look next time round. Poddy Flack has had There's contact, just as that. So Poddy Flack is down. George Rallytas, has he restarted? No. Rallytas has got his lights flashing. It's gone bad from worse for Rallytas. Slow down penalty. He's had to retire. He's retired the car. Rallytas was in third, and that's just blown it wide open. So George Rallytas is in third position, and now he's a DNF. He's going to be screaming in that helmet. But that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you get 6 chicken McNuggets, sometimes you get 9. And that's just how it is. As he holds on the reset all over again. Right. Trebek's on the back of Poddy Flack. Poddy was in top 5. He's now down in 9th position. Trebek's up 6. Trebek, like I said time and time again, poor qualifier, great racer. He does really well within the wheel-to-wheel action of the current course, the Tcsrl. He just struggles at the qualifying pace. And that's really hurt him. Right, here we go again. I'm going to see riding on board now. He's giving him a push along. He's pushing him along specifically because he could just go left and dart out. But I think they are... Yeah, they're doing that as a push along. Trebek side by side with Poddy. Last lap of the race. Poddy's surely going to get that done. Yeah, he holds the position. It's going to be a long struggle here. Carl Smith on the back of Derek Neal. There's Carl Smith in that number 9. He's been making progress because he lost out at the start. He's down in, he's in 18th position. He started 17th. He's down 1. It's really, really going to hurt him. But that's how it is. Butcher's on the back of Boki, or Boki's on the back of Butcher. So Boki has finally got that job done after that amount of time. He says, thank you very much. Ticks the box and gets himself on to the next victim. But he will and he won't, I think. I think he's kind of stuck there at the moment. Where's Jean Petra? So this is the race leaders as they come around in the couple of corners. Can he do? He won't do anything from here. I think it's been a pushing along all for the race. It would make a monumental accident for Craig, for the race leader to be out. The question is that really going to hurt him? I don't think it is. I just don't think it is at the moment. Because Shaw's is at the moment. Stu Neal is on 194, Nenad's on 197, and Shaw's user is on 201. So that is going to cause, I believe, a reset of that will put him at the start. But there's your race winner. There comes across. Here comes Trebek. Gets him up 5 positions. Started 15th and he's in 10th. Solid result for him. This is Boki up 3 positions and he comes across 30. Carl Smith in 18th. He's been in the battles for most of the race. He was going to get himself an absolutely fantastic result. Don't worry about the smoke in the back. That is the game. Crosses the line. Lava Lemming up 3 places and crosses the line in 19th. Andy Foster will come home in 20th. Started 18th, lost 2, but that's how it is some days in racing. Crosses the line. Absolutely sensational from him. And Andy Wilkinson will bring the field home in 21st. 2 DNFs, George Rallytas and Bojan are the 2 drivers that are currently DNF. As always, there is confirmation of your provisional race results. So fastest lap, didn't even see that, goes to Van Skeppen. Van Skeppen absolutely nailed the fastest lap. Stu Neal from John Petra, from T-Joke, from Van Skeppen, from Papa Dim, Rob South, George User, Poddy Flack, Nenad, Trebek, Deeks Butcher, Boki, Van Loon, Bill Campion, Elwood, Neil Smith, Lava, Lemming, Andy Foster, Andy Wilkinson brings up the 21 car field, and George Rallytas and Bojan are both DNFs. On race 1 of this evening. And that's how it stacks up for your race 1 victories this evening. What a race. Absolutely sensational, as always. Lots and lots of close battles. And as always, a couple of incidents that we saw, but as I always see, we only see one thing on stream. We never see multiple. Right, if you are new to the stream, what we are going to do now is spin the wheel. So we will now determine the starting positions of race 3, and this is determined by the finishing positions of race 1. So you'll see me shuffle the note. We are up to 16. Let's run it. We will see who is going to be starting on pole position for race 2. It is going to be position 12, which would be... that's going to be... I need to check my notes. That's going to put Russ Butcher on pole position. So that puts position 12. I would do that, but there we go. And that puts... Still got a cold. And that will put Russ Butcher on pole alongside Craig Dietz. The two teammates will start first and second. Nenad will start third alongside Poddy Flack. Shaw's User will start alongside Rob South. Nick Papadim will start alongside Van Skeppen. And then you've got T-Joke, Jean Petra, and Stu Neal. So that is going to be an interesting race. That is going to be a properly interesting third race. So we will find out what happens in the closing stages of this race. So again, if you are new to stream, hello and welcome. Again, my camera has completely decided it doesn't want to be a camera anymore, which is always helpful. So we'll go back to the main live stream for now. So we're just going to go into race 2. We're just going to wait for the server to sort itself out. It's definitely not Donington Park because that is the second server of the evening. We are waiting to go back to the original race. Absolutely sensational race. Lots and lots of talking points in there. The big one I really want to talk about is Simon Trebek. Now, I've watched Trebek race on a number of different races, on a number of different leagues, and his race pace has always been exceptional. It has always been there or thereabouts. I mean, he can make places up. He's mighty in that Renault, but he just seems to lack that ability to put himself in a good qualifying position. I'm not sure. I think he would be higher up in the championship, but again, it'd be interesting to know if he ever comes on chat. It'd be interesting to know whether or not he gets himself... if there's any real practice done, because some drivers are just absolutely sensational when it comes to the racing. I think it's that one. Can't remember the password. It's in there somewhere. So it's going to be something special, I think. I think race 2 is going to be more of the same. I think you're going to see another major battle between the Trebek, Butcher, Craig Dietz all over again. I think that's going to be another one of those battles that goes on for the entirety of the race. My money's still on Trebek. But again, it's a real shame because if he could just get that qualifying position sorted, I think he could be in top 3 easy. He's got that pace, but he just can't connect the dots in qualifying. So, but that's how it is sometimes. Some drivers are just better at qualifying than other drivers, whereas some other drivers are better in the race. But it's how it is, you know, in this day in history. That's just how it is. Bit of a shame. Stu Neal, another good result for Stu Neal, I think. You'll be happy with that in one way, because he'll have got himself a lot more... you get himself higher up in the championship, because at the moment Stu Neal is third on 194 points. Nenad and Shaw's User finished a lot further behind. So after that race, Stu Neal should be back in the lead. If he can do that again for race 2, which he should do technically for race 2, because he will be starting on pole position. So he will be happy to get that away. In terms of the ballast on board, Tcsrl User has the most at 195. He's got 70 kilo on board. Nenad has 63 kilo on board. Estoril has 56 kilo on board. Bodyflak has the 49 kilo on board. Russ Butcher, 42 kilos on board. Benny Norton is not driving tonight, 35 kilo. Jean Petra, he still has 28 kilos at the moment. So, yeah, it's tricky. Trebek is on 116 points, just to talk about Trebek. So he's 1 point off getting any ballast on board that car. So, I think it's really, really tough. I think it's going to be another close race. I think my money again would be on Estoril. But Van Scheppen's fast as well. My money's on Estoril. While Nenad and Tcsrl User are down in 7th and 9th respective, I think it's another one for Estoril to take again. But then he's going to have full ballast on board that car next week out, so he'll have 2 race victories. In race 3, he'll start 12th. Realistically, he's going to get himself up to about 7th or 6th position, I would think. But that will put him in the lead. That will put him in the lead for the overall Drivers' Championship standings. And that's going to be really, that's just going to cost him time and effort, I think. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see as well. Let's put it on auto direct so you've got some nice cars to look at. That's where I put my money. My money is still on Estoril for 2nd place. That's where I got it. Jean Petra saying I get 63 kilo on board. So I must be looking at the wrong thing then. Let's have a look. Well, according to this... Oh, yeah. Oops. Well, no, according to this, you have got... No, according to this, you've got 28 kilo on board. So I'm looking at 28 kilo on this. We'll find out. He's saying I get 63 kilo. So either they've put the extra kilo on for, let's say, Oh, is that because you missed a week? You could have LBA on. I didn't say that there was LBA on this, but never mind. That's late balance. That's late balance reward because of my holidays. Yes. He gets an L, so basically he gets LEBA, which is late entry ballast allocation. So, for those of you that are new and watching the stream and you're wondering, Andy, what is LEBA? What is that? What is it designed for? So, the reason LEBA, because of Russ, is applied is purely because if you have missed a week, hence holidays, and I think it's within the top 10 of the championship, you basically get an allocation of ballast applied automatically. And that's to stop someone coming in mid-championship who is fast and then just basically using that to their advantage to get around the ballast allocations. Unfortunately, it does hinder some of the drivers that were on the holidays, but that's what it is. And that's how that applies. We do run ballast, as always. We run it from the 70 kilo all the way down to 7 kilos. So it's the top 10 drivers, and it's the top 10 drivers of the it's applied based on the Drivers' Championship, the overall Drivers' Championship, not the Pro-Am not based on the category standings, and that's purely because that's just the ruling. It's done on the overall standing, because that's just how it's done. Basically, it's in the rules to look at it, but that's where it is. So 50p. So with 3 minutes 56 to go, where do I put my 50p? Where do I put my 50p? Estoril. I put it on Estoril. Now, be interesting because Jean Petra is in the chat. So he was driving the Honda. That was second. That's the blue Honda. Is whether or not you were giving old Estoril there a little push along for the championship purposes. It'd be interesting to see if he pops in and says, yes, I did give him a little push along. That will be interesting to see. At the moment, we only have 21 drivers in stream. We have lost George Rallitas, and we have lost Bojan. So we have lost the 2 DNFs. at the moment. So no Bojan, no George Raditas. We are up to 21 drivers. And that will apply for race 2. Race 2 is a 15-minute race. I am your commentator. If you're wondering who's chatting, that's me. I am Andy Pawley. And the event is the Estoril circuit. That one, basically, it's the Grand Prix circuit that we are on. It's always sunny in race room. It's always dry in race room, and air temperature is as you would expect at the moment. So yeah, my 50p is on. My 50p is on Stu Neal. He is the man, I believe, that can deliver that. We will find out. So we will see. Yeah, 21 drivers are in tonight, so that's where we're going to end up, I would think. So, a couple of questions have come across, so we'll have a little look on the old chat, see at the questions. I've got a couple come in. Normal type of questions that we've had. So looking at those, can't say that one, unfortunately. Yes, so ballast, again, back to ballast. Would ballast ever be removed? The answer to that is no. I don't think ballast would ever be removed. Again, it's a way to slow down the quicker drivers and to give people a fair chance in race 3. It's one of those things that when you don't have it and you're winning, you absolutely love the ballast allocation because it makes it fair. When you have it applied and you're leading and everyone's driving past you, you hate it. That essentially sums up. That's how I would sum up the ballast in a nutshell. And I suspect a lot of the drivers would agree with me on that comment. Another one comes in, tyre wear. Yes, we do run tyre wear. So you've watched my streams before. We do run 2 times tyre wear in the Tcsrl. Again, why is that done? And it's basically slow down the faster drivers. It was something that was done 8 seasons ago, and it was applied basically because just because that's how other leagues are run, they don't apply tyre wear. So what would happen is that the drivers that are super fast could just basically do qualifying laps, lap after lap, which is fine. I've got no problem with that at all. That's just, how it is. Within the Tcsrl, it was brought in to give an air of realism. So you had to manage your tyres. And when you have ballast on board as well, like a lot of these drivers will comment on, when you've got ballast on board, the tyre wear absolutely kills you. Like it's a big problem. And it means that you've got to manage it. Now, there are a few drivers in the league that are absolutely brilliant at managing the tyre wear, and what you'll see them do is create a gap within the first 5 minutes of the race. They then tend to fall into this pattern within the 5 to 10 minute mark, so they hold and keep as much tyres that they've got, and then after that you'll see them absolutely apply it to the maximum. So that's what tends to happen. They are absolutely brilliant at it. If you've got a teammate, that also helps as well, because they drag you along. They just drag you along. So, yeah, it's a big thing to have. It's again, something you have to manage. Again, it does put certain drivers off. Certain drivers from other leagues won't race in the Tcsrl, and that's purely because they're like, well, I don't like the ballast and I don't like the weight. I don't like the tyre wear. But again, that's just how other leagues do it, and that's how this league does it. So it's slightly different. Which is, yeah, it's exciting. I think that sums up. I don't think I've got any other questions. No, nothing else coming across on the chat. I will keep an eye on that as it unfurls. There we go. So George has come on and said you should set the particle settings to low. I will have a look at that if I get time between the races. If you could let me know which menu it's in, that'd be great, and I will try and sort that out between the races. And we can turn off the smoke screen. And that was put in because of drifting. So that's caused why we see smoke screen. The drivers aren't actually smoking. It's purely because they changed it for the drifting mod, as it stands at the moment. Right, 32 seconds to go until race 2. This is the formation lap at the moment. You'll see all the drivers go through into this process. Then you'll see them all basically pop onto the grid. Here we go. Start of race 2. Will Stujrl leading into turn 1? That's going to be the big question. Is everyone going to get through into turn 1? Is there going to be more accidents and incidents? It is 15 minutes. Watch the light, and it's lights out, and away we go. Has Stujrl had that perfect start? I think he has. I think he's got it He's managed to get it done. He's going to be all over that into turn 1. Question is, from that helicamera view through the right-hander, no, he hasn't. He's managed to just hold it. Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. Absolutely sensational. Trebek in the middle there. Through the right-hander he goes. He's in the middle pack there. He's got Nenad just ahead. He's absolutely nose to tail, side by side. They're all trying to cluster each other into a manageable formation so they can get through into that first corner, then into the second, third, fourth. That's what they've got to do. Podiflak is in 8th position, holding 8th at the moment. Behind that is Nenad. Nenad's in 10th, started 9th, down 1, but he tends to do that in the opening sections of this race. Then he's going to have to wind up the screw and get gone. Look at Tcsrl, he's in 3rd position. He's all over the back there of Jean Petre, but Tcsrl's biggest problem he has is he uses up the tyres within the first quarter of the race, and then he just goes backwards and backwards, so he needs to keep nice and tidy. No heroics there. Derek Neal right in the middle of that pack there. You can see the Tcsrl of Elwood, where he's stuck right in the middle, holding station. Carl Smith behind Elwood at the moment. This is 17th and 18th position as they're all darting through into that tight right-hander, then another right, then a left, as they go through. Bing bang bosh over the top of the curbs. Needs to keep it nice and tidy here. No silly business. But Rob South, didn't really talk about him in race 1. He's right in the pack now. He's got Rob South and Shaw's User side by side. Shaw's User left side. He's the number 33 car on your left. There goes Podiflak. 3 into 1 does not go. Somebody's going to have to give up. Trebek right at the back of the well. They squeeze Poddy. Poddy holds South. Rob South sees him coming. There goes Nenad. Nenad wants to join the medal party in the background. Holds station, says, yep, here I'm coming. But look at Trebek up 2. Told you, he's a great racer, but his qualifying lets him down. That's his biggest issue. There goes Simon Trebek. Shaw's User runs a little wide there. That's cost him a little bit of time going through the long left-hander. Riding on board now from Shaw's User. You can see Trebek, Rob South and Nenad all side by side as we go through now into the final corner. Needs to keep this holding tighty now. Can he hold it? No, he can't. Yes, he can. No, he can't. Nenad's going for it. He's in the 31. He's thought better of that. No, he hasn't. He's actually going to go around the tight left-hander. Needs to keep this all pointing in the right direction and gets past Rob South. Job done. Next person on the target is Trebek. At the moment, Nenad is holding up stations. It's not Nenad, it's actually Rob South. Rob South is holding it. Right, Carl Smith and Elwood are absolutely fighting and battling hard. This is for 18th and 17th position. Elwood is in 17th position. We're riding now from the rear camera of Elwood. Just ahead of, just behind him, that's Carl Smith. We're riding on board, absolutely over, live with the chops there. Andy Foster and Lava Lemming are absolutely on it as well. The question is, can they do anything from here? Can he push it? Can he force this issue? That's what we're going to have to, he's going to have to look at the moment. There goes Nick Papadim. He's trying to get himself into top 3, but Tcsrl sees him coming, closes that door shut. I think at the moment there is definitely some team orders going on between Jean Petre and Stujrl holding that position. Carl Smith, Andy Foster and Lava Lemming are all side by side at the moment. There goes Carl Smith and that's the Tcsrl of Elwood. There's Andy Foster and Lava. Side by side, Lava's in the number 29. He's on the left side and he's got passed now by Andy Foster. Don't worry about the smoke. No, he hasn't. He's got past him again. Absolutely textbook there, switcheroo. Tim Van Loon's on the back of Bill Campion, riding now back from Bill Campion. This is Bill Campion we're on board with. There is Tim Van Loon. Andy Foster was off the road. He's back on it again, riding with now. He's going for it. He's going up the inside. Tim Van Loon is Bill Campion sees him come in. Leaves the door a little bit wide open, but he has to because he doesn't want to lose the position. And he's reset all over again. Tim Van Loon, he's in that 99. That's the yellow and purple car. Started 14th, still in 14th. Bill Campion, just behind the 99. Started 15th, still 15th. But Derek Neal is up one at the moment. Derek Neal's in that 99 as we ride on board with him now off from the cockpit view. Right, let's have a look at Stu Neal again. So I'm pretty sure here, if we ride on board now, Jean Petra's going to give him a bump up this main straight. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. Yes, he is. He's bumping him up the main straight. He's giving him a push. It's team orders. 100% team orders are being undertaken for these two at the moment. But I thought Jean Petra raced under the Trip 6 Motorsport banner. He does. He's under the Unlimited Esports. But he is pushing him. Okay, so he's pushing him along at the moment. And that's purely to keep someone else off his back right. Where's Boki? Boki's got past. So Boki's down 2. Tim Van Loon and Bill Campion. Boki's gone off the road. Tim Van Loon has got Russ Butcher for company and Rob South at the moment. So Rob South is going backwards. He's down 5 positions. So he's slowly going backwards and backwards. He's just struggling there. I think Rob South hasn't had the practice and is slightly out of position, and that's costing him. We're riding on board now with Rob South. This is Rob South. He's in 11th, don't forget. Started 5 places higher. There goes Tim Van Loon. Oh, there's contact. There's contact between the two drivers. That was very, very messy there between those two. We did get that on camera. We'll have a look post-race. Rob South has retired. So that's some big damage there. Someone else looks like they've gone off in the road. Craig Deeks, I think he's had an accident all by himself there. I could be wrong, but there was just a big puff of smoke and there was a car in the wall. Derek Neal, he's battling hard here with Boki. Boki's just ahead. Boki's in the 96. And Derek Neal is in the number 7. Renault Megane versus Seat. Boom, the Seat. There's the Renault Megane, the black one, the number 7. Behind that Liquid Molly, that's Carl Smith. He's up 4, don't forget, he's in 14th. Right, T-Joke is right on the rear end. Is Stu Neal now with that ballast on board? Is he running out of time here? Because as we ride on board now with Nick Papadim, he's in 4th at the moment. Nick Papadim is a race winner in the Tcsrl League, so he knows how to win races. So does the man ahead. He's been a race winner this season. I think there's a lot of protectionism going on at the moment for Stu Neal. Stu Neal is lucky that he's got Jean Petra as a rear gunner, because the entire top 7, 8, top 8 are all closing down now. They're all bearing down on Stu Neal, and he's got just over halfway to go. So that's going to be Stu Neal's problem, unless he's now in a tyre saving phase in the middle of the race, which I think is going to be his only option, as Derek Neal and Boki are still at it. So Boki's in the 96 and Derek Neal is in that number 7, so these two are still at it. Papadim is on it at the moment. So Papadim riding on board. Right, Tim Van Loon and Derek Neal are side by side. Well, not side by side, but they were nearly side by side. So Tim Van Loon, he's in 14th at the moment. He is that yellow and purple car, the number 99, just ahead of him in the Renault Megane. Boom, that one, the black one. That is Derek Neal. They are holding station. There was a little bit of it looked like there was going to be a little bit of a overtaking action there, but it's all fizzled out, reset all over again. Right, Papadim. He's on the back. There's Poddy Flack. There's Trebek. We'll keep an eye on that. Papadim's going for it. No, he's not. Trebek is going for it. No, he's not. There's a lot of drivers darting out here, trying to go for the old Dummaroonies, but none of them are committing in the braking zone. None of them are saying, yep, definitely, yep, definitely. I say that, but he's got that done. He goes through the left-hander, keeps that nice and tidy. It's reset all over again. And we'll see what happens. Right, where's Van Skeppen? So Van Skeppen's in 5th. He started 4th, don't forget. But top four are now separated by less than 1.3 seconds. So riding now from that rear camera, Stu Neal, he's going to be under immense pressure as we go into the final 5 minutes of this race. 2 quarters gone, 1/3 remaining. And that's going to make it really exciting. They might have gone through the tyre management phase, like I said, between races 1 and 2. You tend to see this phasing where they're all just protecting their tyres, protecting the fuel loads for the final racing. Now, what it could be doing again is that Stu Neal could have underfueled the car, and because they've underfueled the car, it would mean that he's getting a little help along here. Now, Nick Papadim is absolutely on it. He's got to find a way past the number 7 Renault Megane. Tim Van Loon is coming on the board. He's gone off the road. But Nick Papadim, he's gone wide. He won't, unless he can hang this around the outside. Stu Neal, that's actually a genuine lock-up there from Stu Neal. He just hasn't got it done. So with 3 drivers out now, Tim Van Loon, Craig Deakson, Rob South, DNFs. Tim Van Loon is still coming up on the board, but he's effectively a DNF at the moment. Can Jean Petra push this? Can he get himself into top position? I don't think he can. Well, I don't think he can, because I think he's being the rear gunner now for Stu Neal. It's championship as we get to the closing stages of this championship. It's all coming down to championship points. Right, Van Scheppen's on the back of Poddy Flack. Poddy Flack is up 3 places. Van Scheppen is down 2. So, can Poddy Flack hold on to this? Poddy Flack was pretty quick. Derek Neal has got past Carl Smith in the background as off camera. For you Derek Neal and Carl Smith fans at the moment. But Van Scheppen's all over the back here of Poddy Flack. Poddy Flack is in 5th position, don't forget. That is 6th man there. Van Scheppen through the right hander needs to keep this tidy and pointing in the right direction, because if he doesn't, he's going to be off the road and in a wall. So he's got to keep an eye on this as they run wide. Keeps that nice and tight through that section there. Through the left hander they go. Need to keep this nip and tuck. 3 minutes 24 to go of race 2. They're all kind of holding stations now. There's nobody doing anything really silly. Everyone is just waiting. But Nick Papadim, once again, is right on the back here of T-Joke. Question is, has he got it round? T-Joke has gone defensive. He's gone defensive. Again, he has to. But Nick Papadim has gone for the old switcheroonies. Has he got a nip and tuck up on the inside? He's 1/2 car width ahead. He's crucially up the inside. They're 2x2. T-Joke sees that coming. Surely Papadim has got this done. He has to force him wide. Yes, he does. Brilliant manoeuvre there from Papadim. Papadim is up into 3rd position. T-Joke's down to 4th. What a manoeuvre. He absolutely set that up going into turn 1. He was cleverer this time. Broke a little bit early. Forced T-Joke to run deep. And then just laid him out to dry through the next corners 2, 3 and 4. Now, can he break away here from T-Joke and get himself up into 2nd position? Right, where's Trebek? So, there's contact there from Van Scheppen and Poddy Flack. I think Van Scheppen outbraked himself and just went up the inside. Yes, he did, and he's allowed Poddy Flack to retake that position, which was the right manoeuvre to do. Great racing there from Van Scheppen. He deserves that. Brilliant stuff. Right, Jean Petra once again is helping out, but Papadim is mighty out of the final section of corners. That's where he's been gaining on the. That's where he gained on T-Joke. Now it's 1:44. So they'll get this lap and 1 more. So realistically, Papadim has to push the manoeuvre now. This is going to be the saving grace here for Stu Neal. The question is, I don't think Papadim's going to get through there. Unless he goes for it, unless he goes for a dive up the inside, which is just not going to work. No, he thinks better of it. Van Scheppen, does he get past Poddy Flack? He does. No, he doesn't. They've left 1 car's width. Absolutely sensational. Poddy Flack will be on the inside going into the next set of corners. Job done. Poddy Flack holds that position from Van Scheppen, but Van Scheppen has been all over the back of him for most of the race. And there is Trebek. Trebek is there as well, pushing and pushing and pushing, but the problem is he's just not going to turn that into a position from here. Derek Neal has been on the back of Carl Smith for most of the race as well. What can he do here? Well, he's going to have a smoke through there. Right, where is... He's run out of time. He's run out of time. Papa Dim's not going to get this done, I don't think. I think Papa Dim is going to run out of road and run out of time. Yeah, he's going to run out of road and run out of time. Papa Dim here, riding on board with him now. At the moment, Poddy's held the back. Yeah, he's not going to get anything through here. I think Jean Petra, who we're riding on with now, he's done what he needs to do. Trebek is on the back of Jules Yusa, so Jules Yusa through that right-hander. He's the number 33. Simon Trebek has been hounding him for most of the race, but I don't think he's going to get any further than this. I think it's going to be reset as we rejoin the leaders as they come round to cross the line. The top four separated by less than 1.8 seconds. Absolutely sensational. Stu Neal takes another race victory by Jean Petra. Nick Papadim claws his way to third. T-Joke started third, finished fourth. Poddy Flack finishes in fifth. Van Skeppen is sixth. Jules User is seventh. Trebek is eighth. Ninad, didn't we talk about Ninad? Brings the car home in a solid ninth. Butcher is 10th. Bill Campion brings the car home in 11th. Carl Smith brings the car home in 12th. Derek Neal in 13th. Bokey, again, didn't really talk about Bokey in this race, in 14th. Stephen Elwood is in 15th. Lava brings the car home in 16th. Andy Foster will bring the car home in 17th. And Andy Wilkinson, he had a couple of offs, but his overall time is a 1:44.039. He's getting faster, and he crosses the line in 18th position. Fastest lap goes to Poddy Flack, Stu Neal, second race victory of this evening. He will be ecstatic with that. What a race. Absolutely sensational. Top four separated by less than 2 seconds at the end. You couldn't make that up if you tried. Absolutely sensational. Absolutely brilliant stuff there from the top drivers. There is always confirmation of your provisional results for race 2. Absolute brilliant stuff. I think Nick Papadim could have won it, I think, but he just ran out of time and ran out of road. But again, it's a shame. It's a shame. He is a race winner. He is a race winner, so he should have got it. But it is what it is. Sometimes that's just how it is. You can't always get to the front of the queue. And yeah, was brilliant. Seen a couple of things on the chats. Poddy Flack mentioning what we saw on stream, which was when Van Skeppen outbraked himself and went into the side, and that's what Van Skeppen's come up. Poddy Flack has said to Van Skeppen and just said, yeah, great race, absolutely sensational from him. Right, while they're setting that up, we're going to go across to the live commentary box, if I can actually get in, because the thing is having a Mardy. That's the official term from what's happening. Let's go across to the Discord and see what's happening. We have Stu Neal in the chat with us, race 1 and race 2 winner. Stu, and pole position as well. Let's not forget that. Stu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Right. I want to talk through qualifying as well. Obviously, there is a lot of ballast on board that car at the moment.
Yes.
Take us through that. I mean, has that been it's less than we've had before, but is it a case of you were quite happy to get rid of the ballast?
Well, it wasn't planned to get rid of the ballast. You obviously missed the other week. I had an absolute nightmare in the pits where I'd come in and my pit crew weren't there. There was no stop sign. So I literally I pulled up and stopped where I was supposed to, because you got the little thing that tells you that counts the meters down as you're getting towards your pit space. I stopped on 0 meters, but there was no stop sign. Nothing happened. So then I drove out, tried to pit again. Obviously, when I came out, I was behind where I should have been because I came in second, right behind Shaw's. And then when I went out again, I then pitted again to try again. Still didn't work. So I ended up finishing 14th through no fault of my own. I was gutted. I should have been second. But as it happens,
that sounds that sounds like the best racing excuse I've ever heard.
Well, it's true, unfortunately. But yeah, so it turned out quite well in the end because it dropped me down to third and it's given me on 56 kilos. And although, yes, it's a lot of weight, I'm still able to almost do what I want with the car. So, yeah, I did well. I was fastest in practice.
Yep.
And I was thinking, right, I just need to do that again in quali. And I went out my first quali stint and I couldn't put a lap together. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. And then it was just towards the end when there's only a couple of minutes left. I managed to just hook up. That was the fastest lap I've done, actually, a 40.0. I just managed to hook it up. And I was just like, well, that's pretty much the ceiling. I couldn't go any quicker than that. So,
well, it was absolutely sensational qualifying. Obviously, let's take the big question. Obviously, within races 1 and 2, was your old mate giving you a little push there down the old straight?
Yes, I've got to give credit to Jean Pretre because he had multiple opportunities where he could have just tried to outbrake me coming into turn 1. And I think half of it was I didn't know at the beginning whether he was just trying to nudge me forward and just keep us to get us a clear gap, and then he was just going to try and have me on the last lap. That's what I thought was going to happen, which is obviously I kept going defensive every lap, but he just kept nudging me, so I carried on. And yeah, like I said, that was lucky, really, that he was doing that. So that gifted me that race 1 win. And then race 2, I managed to get a little bit of a gap. He was catching me in places, and then there was other places I was getting away. And again, I think at the start of the race, he could have had me. And then I think later on, he didn't really have an opportunity. And again, but I didn't know whether he was going to do the same again or think, oh, I'll let him win the last one. I'm going to win this one. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't know because obviously we weren't chatting together or anything. So, but no, fair play. As I said, thanks to Jean Pretre for sure, because he definitely helped.
So it did look like that. I mean, he had multiple opportunities, like you said. Just want to talk about the tyres as well. Quickly take us through the tyres. Well, I say quickly, we've got like 7 minutes, 6 minutes. Is it how is the tyre wear? Is it a high tyre wear circuit? Is it a case that you have to manage that now a lot more than you have before? Purely because, again, it's the it looks like it's heavy on tyres.
Yeah, it's the front left. After like 2 laps, the front left is red hot. But you're still able to sort of bang some reasonable laps in. I mean, it's only till I think it was maybe when was it? Maybe 2 laps from the end. I was only 3/10 off of my fastest lap. So I was continually banging in laps that were about 3/10 off. And it's only on the last lap. No, the second to last lap and the last lap, I dropped maybe half a second. So they were starting to really hurt towards the end. But obviously, everybody's in the same boat. So thankfully, the same thing was happening to Jean Pretre behind me. So we were both struggling with the same problem. And obviously, he had more weight than me as well. So that extra 7 kilos, I think, was enough to just help me keep ahead of him out the corners.
So, because it looks like if you can get a good run into turn 1, send the other driver to a defensive line. Obviously, when you watch back on stream, it's how Papadim got past T-Joke in the last race. That turn 1 seems to be, if you can set someone up going into turn 1, you can basically mug them through to. If you get up the inside out of turn 1, hold it on the outside of turn 2. By turns 3 and 4, you just run them wide going into 4.
Yeah. I think that's where Jean Pretre was thinking, I don't want to make a move here, slow us both down, and then end up with Papadim and Soki then in the mix as well. And we could go from 1st and 2nd to 6th, 7th or 8th very quickly.
Yes.
So, because I think both Soki and, I forgot his name.
Papadim.
Papadim. I think Soki and Papadim both on less than me and John Pretra. So, yeah, with them behind us, I think it was the sensible option. And I'd have done the same thing if I was behind John Pretra. I'd have kept nudging him along. Although I may have tried to have him at the end if I'd have had the opportunity. But yeah, I mean, he's been out for a couple of weeks, hasn't he? So I don't think he's anywhere in terms of the championship.
No, he's not, and he's got the LEBA allocation on board as well.
That's it. Yeah, so that's why
he confirmed he was at 63 kilo. Because he's running the late entry ballast allocation on board as well. But again, it seems to be that you can defend quite easy on this track, and overtaking seems to be a little bit difficult because of the twisty nature of the track. Is that what you're seeing as well? And like you said, we discussed turn 1 being an overtaking opportunity, but I don't really see. There is, I think it's before the end of sector 2. You've got that. You come off the right hander. There's the straight, and then there's a left hander. Yeah. But again, it's easy to outbrake yourself, and then because it happened to Van Skeppen and Poddy Flack, and they whacked into each other, and Van Skeppen gave the position back. I mean, there's a real risk that someone could push you wide there, but I suppose you just have to make sure that you have to be careful, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's knowing who you're racing and knowing what the best option to do is, because there's no point in fighting like a madman to try and keep someone behind you or something if they're much quicker. You'd be better off just letting them pass and getting in their toe and going with them. Do you know what I mean? Because certainly there'll be a huge difference in this next race, because obviously with it being a reverse 12, I was behind. I had a practice race and I was with Rob South the other night, and he's not got any ballast, and he was rapid, and I was behind him in his toe, and I just couldn't get past. I couldn't set a move up. Obviously, with the extra ballast that you've got, putting a move on someone is really difficult. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to finish much higher than 12th, to be honest. If I'm getting the top 10, I'll be happy. But
because race 3, I mean,
I'm not expecting big things.
With 2 minutes to go, so you've got Jean Petra ahead of you, which is tough. T-Joke tough. Van Skeppen tough. Papadims tough. Rob South, don't know, because Rob South is either brilliant or not. There's no middle line with him.
Well, he's lapping fast enough.
He's doing he's doing 140.6s to 140.8s.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're with race. I'm only a couple of tenths quicker than him, and you
tenths on average. 2 tenths quicker.
2 or 3 tenths, yeah, and you can't do anything with that. You need to be a good half a second plus to be able to put a move on someone, unless they make a mistake, obviously.
Shaw's, who's obviously hampered by the ballast.
Oh yeah, he's done really well to get 2 7s with 70 kilos.
Poddy is in the middle, a 140.6 to 140.9. So
he banged in a quality lap in the last race, didn't he?
He's got the possibility to win. Nenad, I don't know. If Nenad suffers with ballast.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about Nenad. Trebek. See, Trebek, he could win this because you've got Deeks and Butcher. If Trebek can actually get past Butcher and Deeks, I reckon Trebek can win this. He can get on down the road and win it.
He's not got any ballast, does he?
No. And he's lapping at 140.4 to a 140.6. Deeks is a 140.7 to 140.9. Butcher's all over the place. But I don't have a true representation of Butcher's pace purely because he's been in the battles for the last 2 races, so there's no data to tell me.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's tough.
Listen, I'm gonna have to shoot. But
well, good luck. And
cheers.
No doubt I'll talk to you after the race. Good luck, and hopefully you finish top 5.
All right then. Cheers.
Right, good luck.
Bye.
So, as always, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a real tough race, I think. And just quickly there, in terms of the drivers and the swings we've got, in terms of the positions, we'll have a warm up of 1 minute, and then we'll go through the formation. So predictions, Paulie's predictions. Where do I put my money? This is a tough one. The field is really separated today, really separated. Racing at home, saying sounds about normal for Butcher. Yep, 100% for Butcher. He's just in the battle all the time. Georgia saying, I agree with Stu. Yeah, it's going to be tough. So the warm-up, we got a minute, and then we go into the formation. I don't know. I don't want to count Russ out because he is a race winner. He's got his teammate right behind him. So if his teammate can hold up the rest of the field for 2 laps, I reckon Butcher can do this. If Trebek can clear Deeks within the opening lap, he should do it within the opening corners, first 4 corners. My money's on Trebek. I'd love to see Butcher or Trebek win, if I'm honest. Or Deeks. I'd love one of those 3 to win. Deeks was leading 3 weeks ago for the entirety of the race, or 4 weeks ago, and lost out towards the end. Gutted for Deeks, but that's how it is. He made a mistake, and that just closed everyone back up. Nenad, I don't know. Again, I'd love to see Nenad win a race 3, especially with the ballast on board. I'd like to see Poddy win as well. Anyone in the top 5? Shaw's, I'm not sure he can do it. Rob South, again, an unknown. Papadim, it's a long shot. Van Skeppen's fast. He got fastest lap in race 1. He had a 140.16, but again, he's been in the walls a little bit. So that's going to be troublesome. T-Joke, I think, will struggle from that position purely because that little car runs out of poke, basically, as it gets close down. Yeah, I don't know. It's incredibly difficult. So racing at home, that's Mike Bullen, if you're wondering. I know from Aragon that the one time how hard it is to pass Butcher. Yeah, turned a likely clear into a disqualification. Yeah, it's tough. Butcher is tough. Butcher puts his car, and he's entitled to do it. He puts his car in a place that he leaves you 1 car's width, and he leaves you make the decision, and it's completely legal. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But we do only run 30 instant points. It's only 30 instant points run in this league, which means it's another thing they have to manage. Right, here we go. Race 3. Is my predictions going to be correct? Is Butcher, Deeks or Trebek going to win this? Or it will be someone outside the top 3? Watch the lights at the top. We will go racing for the final time, and it's lights out, and automatically there is a drive-through penalty for one of the drivers. T-Joke hasn't started the race, so that's already disappeared for him. He will show us lap 1 at the moment. Butcher is leading this race at the moment. He is leading. The timing streets have gone absolutely wild because T-Joke's had a right old wobbly. But Butcher is leading. There we go. Craig Diggs is in second. Oh, Nenad. Nenad comes side by side with Trebek. That's gone wild in the background. That's because he's on his roof. He's on 2 wheels. I cannot believe it. Nenad was sending it full stop. Oh, there's crash accident. Oh, Nenad, more accidents in the background. Nenad's gone off. Is that Boki? That's Nick. Papadim is out as well. T-Joke is still on the line at the moment. He's not going to be happy with that, but Butcher is leading. Butcher is leading this race at the moment. That's what he needs to do. T-Joke is finally DNF. It's going to be interesting when they get around to that corner if he's still there. At the moment, Van Skeppen through the long left-hander he goes. Look at all that smoke. Absolutely smoking like a chimney back there at the moment. What can Van Skeppen do? He's in the 88. Slow down penalty already. Track limit abuse. That's going to put him into the clutches of Trebek. Into Podiflax. Stu Neal is right in the mix. He's in 8th position, so he's managed to get himself up a little bit. He's swapped positions there with Jean Petra. That's going to be key for him. There goes, is that Boki? No, it's Van Skeppen. So Van Skeppen is going to get passed by Stu Neal. That's another position there for Stu Neal. Right, Trebek is on this. He's got to get this done now. This is Craig Dietz. There's Trebek. Trebek is just right behind in that 33. He's got to swing it to the right now. Go. Put into that brakes. Down. Oh, he's absolutely crunched the brakes. 5th, 4th, 3rd into 2nd. Holds it round the outside. Can he be brave? Has he taken his Weetabix? Yes, he has. Sensational move there from Trebek. It is on for Trebek. This is what Trebek needs to do now. It's going to be a straight fight, I think, between Trebek and Butcher here. Butcher just doesn't have he's just not carrying the speed there. He's not carrying. See, Trebek will do the old maneuver that he just did there, that he did on the teammates, so that'll be interesting to see. Right, Derek Neal, at the moment, there he is. There's Lava Lemming in the back with Foster. Papadim's recovered. Carl Smith has gone off the road somewhere, so he's now down in 18th position. He only started 17th, but that's how it is. Derek Neal is side by side with Elwood. What can Elwood do? Can he push this any further? There's George Prieto. He's joined us for this race. Can he push it now? T-Jokes DNF. Right, where's Trebek? He's right on the back of Butcher. Now, Trebek doesn't need to do anything silly through these sections of the race. What he needs to do now is line up Butcher. Just hold it nice and tidy through these little middle sector 2. Go when he gets to the start-finish straight. That's where he's got to set up Butcher. That's where he's got to really look at that opportunity. Jean Petra is in 9th position, holding up behind Stu Neal. He's not holding him up. He's being the rear gunner for that man in 8th position. Van Skeppen's back in 7th. But Stu Neal is just going to try and hold to 4th. This is where he's got to go now. Butcher side by side as it goes on. Can Butcher do anything from here? Is he going to be able to hold this? He's gone up the inside. He's going forward into turn 1. Through the right-hander. Does he get the car start? Yes, he does. Into 3rd. Sensational there from Trebek. Absolutely magnetic stuff. The Paulie predictions have come true. Now will the commentator's curse strike the man down, and he'll be into the kitty litter. One-way ticket to Barrier. He's got 11 minutes plus 1 lap to find out. He's run wide. He's run wide. Trebek ran wide. The commentator's curse nearly got him. Nearly got him 1 lap after. He's just held on to position. Now Trebek has to get his head down. He's got to focus at the job in hand and get gone into the distance. The next milestone, by the next lap 5, he needs to have a second gap. Anything less than that, and he's at risk to Butcher going up the inside into the final lap. Right, where's Jean Petra? He's behind Stu Neal as well. Derek Neal is behind Elwood. Elwood's in the DHL yellow Coronel car. Great looking car. Absolutely sensational. Best car on the grid. Just is the end. Because I like yellow cars with black bonnets. That's the best. You can see Lava Lemming there sending it full style in the background. He got a little bit wobbly there. In 16th position at the moment. 2 drivers are out. Ninad and T-Joke. George Rallitas is did not start this race. We also lost Bojan as well, so we lost a couple of drivers towards the end. Right, where's Shaw's Yusa? He's on the back of Craig Deeks at the moment. Shaw's Yusa could win this, by the way. That's not an outside chance here, because the front 3 haven't really made progress. The problem that Shaw's has got is the ballast, and that's the difference between the ballast. He just hasn't been able to get there. Poddy Flack is going to go up the inside of Rob South. That should be a job done. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Roddy Flack stays 5th, lost 1, and he's back into 5th. He will be happy with that. The problem he's got is he's got to try and now struggle and fight his way to the next group, and just hope that the race leader Trebek keeps everybody at bay. Rob South, he is in that Honda at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That number 18 is the white liquid moly Honda. That's going to be what's really pushing him here now. And what can he do from here, going from that rear camera? Absolutely nose to tail. And then you've got Van Skeppen there as well. Can Van Skeppen do anything from here? I don't think he can. No, he's going to have to hold station at the moment. Stu Neal in 8th position. He's going to be holding station as well. He doesn't want to do anything silly. Realistically, he's going to be leading the championship. Right, Nick Papadim is going to go up the inside of Lava Lemming. No, he's not. Nick Papadim there, he's in 18th. Don't forget, he was in a top position. He was in top 12. But unfortunately there was that incident on the opening lap of the race, and that's cost him dearly as we just approach halfway distance. Halfway to go, halfway gone. He's going to get past him, I reckon. Prieto is going for a move on Bill Campion. That's going to be a very audacious move through there. Prieto isn't going to get around there. He's going to have to think about that. He's in the little I-30 in that car in the middle. You've got 3 different manufacturers at the moment, and 3 different nationalities all holding stations. Right, what can Boki do? Boki's on his own as Bill Campion has got Prieto, Elwood and Neal for company, but Van Skeppen is going up the inside of Rob South into turn 1. Stu Neal has put his nose in front of Rob South as well. He wants to try and get up into 7th position. Papadim has got past Carl Smith at the moment. He's going to get past Lava Lemming in a minute. As we look behind that, what can... he's not going to go around there. Rob South saw that coming, left him out to dry, but he's got up the inside again. He's managed to hold it just enough. Rob South has lost 2 positions. Trebek is holding station by 0.5 of a second. Butcher has broken away there from... Where's Craig Deeks gone? Craig Deeks has gone off the road, so he's now gifted that to Shaw's user. Shaw's is kind of on his own now. So there's Poddy. He's got Craig Deeks for company. Craig Deeks has made a mistake there. Trebek is now 0.6 of a second ahead of second place man Butcher. So Trebek here on lap 5 is on for a race victory. Question is, can he maintain this? Can he get there? There's Prieto at the moment. He's got Elwood just ahead of him. That's the yellow Tim Coronel car riding from the rear camera now. There's Prieto, and there's Derek Neal, his son, currently in 7th. Oh, that was very audacious round there. Prieto seems to put his car in these absolutely unbelievable positions, but manages to get away with it, which is absolute brilliant stuff. At the moment. Right, Van Skeppen leaving this battle and rejoining the battle for 5th and 6th position. Riding on board now with Van Skeppen. There's his 6th. There is Craig Deeks. Craig Deeks has got a whisker ahead. Craig Deeks is just not confident on the brakes. He brakes about 50 metres earlier than everybody else. And that's just costing him positions hand over fist. At the current rate, Stu Neal should mug Craig Deeks, I reckon, and should be up into 6th position by the end of this race. John Petra's behind him, and there is Boki. Not really talked about Boki. Andy Foster has got Nick Papadim for company. There's Lava Lemming in the background, and Carl Smith in the liquid molly number 9. Right, Prieto and these two are still fighting. Prieto's finally got the job done. I think Elwood went off the road, and that's cost him the position. Yeah, that cost him the position at the moment. Trebek's managing to hold station at the moment by 0.4 of a second. So the front 2 now have made distance. They've broken away by nearly 1.5 seconds. Poddy Flack is closing up on Shaw's user, who's in 3rd position, but I don't think Poddy Flack will attack him realistically. I think Poddy Flack will hold that position. Stu Neal is side by side with Deeks. That should be a done deal. He should get this up the inside. Textbook manoeuvre, ticks that box, into 6th he goes. Was predicting top 5. I think he'll struggle to get higher than that, but we will see. Craig Deeks at the moment is the cork in this bottle. There's Rob South, there's John Petra. John Petra should go up the inside. He nearly did, but he didn't. He's in the number 13. We are on board now with John Petra. Can he push this? Can he get this done? Can he go around the outside? I don't think he can. It is a straight fight. There goes Van Skeppen. What was that? Absolute left to right, right to left. Does he hold the line? Does Poddy Flack get a nose ahead? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He just holds it up and on again. There is Jean Petra. What can he do from here? He's going to be holding station realistically. Craig Deeks through the right side. Needs to keep this nice and tidy. I think Craig Deeks started on the front row, don't forget, down 5. But Poddy Flack is right on the back of Van Skeppen now. So Poddy Flack started 5th, still 5th. Gained nothing, lost nothing. Van Skeppen's up 5. He's now into 4th. But Poddy Flack is hunting him down. Right, Bill Campion is the cork in the massive bottle here. So we're riding on board with Bill Campion. That is Stephen Elwood. There is Joe. That's Prieto, and there is Derek Neal. It is a 4-way battle at the moment. I've pressed the wrong camera angle. Boki has had a crash. All on his own, it looks like. He's 100% damage. He will be out of the race. So Boki's just gone off the road and absolutely T-boned it into the wall. I do feel for him. He was running on his own at that point. But that's just how it is. At the moment, whoa, that's not going to work through there. 3 into 1 does not go. Someone's going to have to give that up. It's Prieto's going to have to. No, he's not. Has Elwood given? No, it's not. It's reset all over again. Absolutely sensational from this 5. They are absolutely nose to tail. Bill Campion is at the head of this group as we ride on board now with Papa Dim. He's only lost 6 places. That's the wrong camera angle. It's this one. Papa Dim is side by side with Derek Neal into turn 1. They're going to have to be very brave here. Prieto is side by side just ahead with Bill Campion. Does he get it done? It's Elwood, sorry. The yellow car of Elwood. Yes, he does. Bill Campion sees Prieto coming. Prieto's trying to muscle his way back in. Bill Campion's a wily old fox. Says, you're not coming in here, mate. And then Papa Dim at the background is going to go up the inside. Oh, they're all just going for it at the back now. They need to be careful because they might end up with a disqualification if they're not too careful with all of this. At the moment, it's 2:12 to go. It'll be 2 laps, including this one, and that will be the race over. At the moment, the question is Papa Dim going to hold on long enough at the current rate? Nenad is DNF. Is he still? No, he's. Oh, I think Nenad's gone into the stratosphere. Derek Neal. Is that Andy Foster? Andy Foster has run wide there. That's allowed Papa Dim to get up again. Derek Neal is at the back of this. Bill Campion and Prieto are just ahead. As Prieto runs wide, misses the apex. Oh, and so does Bill Campion. Bill Campion completely missed the apex there. And he's side by side. There's just not Prieto thinking better of that. And Bill Campion smashes into the wall. He's going to have more damage. That's compromised Bill Campion's line. And Prieto, they're all apps. They're going to be careful here. They're going to be right on the limit of their incident points. Right, Shaw's User leading that battle is at the front. There he goes. He's got past Tim Van Skeppen has caught the back of Shaw's User. So, and Andy Foster has got past. Yeah, Nick Papadim has come up on the board as off. Yep, so he's off. Well, it was always going to happen. Poddy Flack is where Shaw's User. He's still in the lead. Poddy Flack's holding station. So Poddy Flack is going to try and get past the man ahead, but it's just not going to work. It's reset all over again. But Shaw's User and Van Skeppen are both Dutchmen, so they're both going to be wanting to help each other out. At the moment, Trebek is leading. As it stands, he will get, I believe, one more lap, and he will take a race victory this time out. What happened to Van Skeppen? I think Van Skeppen was trying to... I don't know what happened to Van Skeppen there. He kind of went on his own little distance, his own little journey. That puts Stu Neal top 5. Stu Neal is now top 5. He will be super happy with that. And he'll be leading the championship once again. I'm pretty sure Nenad and Shaw's User will be happy. I nearly tagged the wall there. Nearly tagged the wall. He's got to be careful. So at the front at the moment, Trebek is leading. 2 seconds to go. This will be it. Race over. So Trebek has done all he needs to do, and he's going to get lucky here. He's going to finish on the lap 9 rather than having to do one more lap because the times have been slower than expected. And he crosses the line and takes a victory. He'll be proper happy with that. Butcher in second. Shaw's User is in third, just behind Poddy Flack. Van Skeppen is 5th. Stu Neal is 6th. Craig Deek is 7th. Rob South is 8th. Jean Petra for the crowd finishes 9th. Elwood is 10th. Bill Campion is 11th. Prieto will bring the car home in 12th. He's just got to cross the line because Derek Neal will mug him if he's not too careful. Brings the car home in 12th. Derek Neal is 13th. Andy Foster brings it home in 14th. Lava Lemming will bring the car home in 15th. Well, it would if it was working. There we go. And Carl Smith will bring the car home in 16th. Didn't really talk about Carl Smith this time out in race 3. Nick Papadim, Boki, Nenad and T-Joke are all DNFs. They're not disqualifications, they are DNFs. Stu Neal, fastest lap. Simon Trebek, race winner. He will be proper happy with that. As always, that is classifications of your provisional race results. Trebek from Butcher, from User, from Flack, from Van Skeppen, from Neal, from Deeks, from South, from Jean Petra, from Elwood, from Campion, from Prieto, Neal, Foster, Lemming, Smith, Papadim, Boki, Nenad, and T-Joke. We lost Bojan, George Rally Tass. Real shame we lost those two, but that's how it is sometimes. We lost somebody else, and I've forgotten who it is. But that's how it stacks up for this night's proceedings. Absolutely sensational, absolutely brilliant racing there from all the drivers. And predictions were correct. Trebek had to do that. He had to get himself into those top positions, because if he didn't, it was going to cost him more and more time, more and more issues. So there we go. Right, we will go across to the voice chat for the final time of this evening, and we have Stu Neal in the commentary box with us. Stu, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So, race 3. Want to talk through race 3. Good result, top 5. Were you expecting that? Well, I don't think you were.
I was 6.
Sorry, well, I'm saying top 5. I'm saying
at the end. I'll take that. Tell Ross I'm in 5th.
I rounded up. That's what I did. Oh no, I rounded down. I rounded down from 6 to 1. That's what I did. But again, started 12th. You were saying if I get a top 10, I'll be happy. So the field seemed to spread out quite a few bits. A couple of incidents, obviously Nenad and Papadim, obviously 2 drivers that were there. T-Joke obviously did not even start the race. But again, you kept out of trouble through that race. Bit hairy towards the middle section. I mean, take us through it. Was it a case of you were close on the incident points, or was it a case of I just got to keep going?
No, the incident points are absolutely fine, to be honest. I didn't have any issues with them at all. So I was just able to I was using Van Skeppen to begin with to tow me along. But he started getting away. But then I got, we got through 2 or 3, I think. Maybe a couple of people just using him to pull me along. Managed to get past Deacon up the inside because he ran wide a bit, so I managed to get up the inside of him. It was just at the end there, I was gutted because I thought, it's going to be Shaw's Poddy and then me. But I've managed to. I think it was Van Skeppen again, wasn't it? Because he only had the 14 kilos. So when we came out of the corner, he managed to just get his nose in front of me. And I was like, I've got to give him the room on the inside. But of course, that put me offline. And I thought I was going to go in the wall at the end there on the left-hand side. So I'd had to back out of it to make it round the corner. And that then allowed him to get up the inside of me for the next one. And there was nothing I could do to defend. I'd lost too much time to be able to get it across the track. So it was what it was, but like I said, I'd have been happy with the top 10. So getting a 6 was, awesome.
It was really, really good. Again, going through that and the battles that you had, again, it just seemed to be that everything just seemed to fall into place for tonight. Obviously, from qualifying, race 1, race 2, you took fastest lap, I think, in race 3 as well. Top of my head, yes. 140.3, I think.
3:35 or something like that.
So, again, fastest lap. Did you just feel like you were just on fire? Because you seemed to have all 3 in control through the whole evening. Obviously, you got a little help in race 1 and 2, but that race 3, again, everything just seemed to fall into place. You got the overtakes done. I mean, did you feel that way, or was it a case of just see how it goes?
Yeah, I mean, it's to be fair, I'd never driven this track before, and I got on during the week. And I couldn't get out of the 141s. The quickest I could get to was a 41. It was 41.8 to begin with. I couldn't get out of that. And then I got to a 41 dead, and I was like, I don't know where this second is that I'm losing. Do you know what I mean? Because I knew it was. I think Jean Pretre had been on the night before, and Poddy had said that he was doing like a 140.3 or something. I'm thinking, I'm 7/10 off that. Where am I going wrong? And It just slowly came together, and then I just got the hang of it. It's really weird. This track has been like the longest track it's taken me to get used to a track. I don't know why specifically, but I just couldn't get the hang of it, and then it just clicked into place, and I was away. But as you say, tonight it was, it just hooked it up. Like I said, I was lucky I had Jean Pretre behind me, and that he helped me a couple of times in race 1 and 2. And race 3, I managed to, keeping out of trouble, it was more by luck than judgment, to be honest, because obviously it all happened in front of me, and I just like, where do I go? I'll just go here. And thankfully that was the right place to put the car. But it could have just as easily been I'd gone to the wrong way, and then I'd have been fired off with everyone else. So it was like I say, it was a bit more luck than judgment.
Let's go with judgment, not luck.
I'll take it. I'll take either. Whatever.
Let's go with luck, not let's go with judgment, not luck.
Cool.
Okay, so thanks for joining us. Really, that was well done on your 2 race victories, and obviously your 6th race finish in race 3. Again, I think that will make you top of the standings. So you will be back at full ballast, I believe, for next week by my poor math calculations. But really well done, really well done. Right, across to Russ next. I think it's Russ. It is Russ. Yes. Russ, can you hear me?
I can, mate. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Right, I want to talk about race 3 to begin with before I talk about races 1 and 2. So race 3 obviously started on pole position, and then I don't know. You kept pace with Trebek, but again, you just didn't seem to be confident into the braking zone into turn 1, which is when he basically mugged you.
I know. I let him through.
Oh, did you let him through?
Yeah.
There we go.
I was waiting for everybody to come through, and then Trebek came through, and I had Craig, and I think Shaw's was on the back of Craig. And then Craig had a bit of a moment through the back section where it goes sort of right over the hill. He ran a bit, he hit the inside curb, and it put his car on 2 wheels and dropped him back, and it gave me and Trebek a gap of around about a second to Shaw's. So yeah, I was happy to. Every lap down the straight, I was flashing Trebek to slow down a little bit so he could pull me along down the straight. I don't think he read it that way, because he just seemed to move away. But luckily, one lap he made a mistake into turn 1. And I was able to catch the time back up and stick with him again in the tow, because otherwise I'd have been a sitting duck to everyone behind, really. But that kept the gap to Shaw's at just over a second, which meant he wasn't really getting the tow off of me, and was just able to sit there, really. So it wasn't how I'd expected it to be, because the rest of the pace in the other 2 races was awful. So I was expecting to let Craig through at turn 1 and then try and hold up everybody for as long as possible, but Craig didn't end up getting the start that we wanted. And then Trebek got past him, and then it was a case of, okay, I'm going to have to kind of try and go on my own here.
Well, it was. It was Trebek thoroughly does it. I mean, he did everything right.
Not being funny. It was a case of, do I fight him and hold both of us up, and then everyone else catches us up, or do I just let him go and try and sit in his wheel tracks for as long as possible? And from previous races of doing that, I've always finished higher up than trying to fight everybody. So it was a no-brainer, really.
Well, there we go. There, that's what it looked like. So that was, well, at the end of the day, that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you have to play it tactically, because you are fighting a championship, so it is important. So moving away from race 2, obviously to talk about races 1 and race 3. Sorry, we'll talk about races 1 and 2. Again, a lot of time in the battles in that midfield. Again, it was you, Trebek, Deeks, Nenad, and I forgot the other gentleman now. There was one more that was in the mix as well. One of the Hondas, I think. Can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it was Boki, I think, wasn't it? In the
just having a look now. Yes, it was Boki. It was Boki, Butcher, Deeks, Trebek, and Nenad, and you all had a bit of fun together for 2 races. Take us through that, because obviously that was very close racing, close quarters all the way through that. I mean, and it was very respectful, and you kept changing positions every couple of corners.
Yeah, the problem is you'd try and sort of defend, but then you'd end up either running deep or being slow off the corner, and then like the car from 2 cars back would then jump a car because you've slowed the car that was directly behind you down that you were defending from. So then, the other car would get the run, and it was great. You just had to sort of know when to sort of try and go for the gap, and when to try and wait and see what happened in front. But it was very interesting. Just didn't have the pace. I don't know if it's the ballast or if it's the Alpha's just not that good, or I'm not that good at this track in the Alpha, but the pace wasn't really there to be high up. So that's why race 3 it was try and take as much points as possible without holding everybody up that was coming through, because as soon as you start holding people up, the gap, the group behind you just gets bigger and bigger, and then you end up losing more places. So,
well, it was an absolute I mean, that's the conundrum, isn't it? Do you battle for every single position, or because the field is so close, if you continuously battle, you go from one position to you could lose 3 or 4 positions.
That's it, yeah.
And that's the problem I think that you've got, which is I think is a good problem to have. It's a champagne problem, as people at work would say. But it's equally one mistake and you're off the road and you've lost 3, 4, 5, and you're nowhere near, to be perfectly honest.
That's it, mate. Yes.
So it's a bit tough. It's very, very tough, I think. So obviously 3 good races. Well, I think 3 good races anyway. How are the tyres in the Alfa Romeo? I just want to touch on tyres again with the Alfa Romeo. We've obviously heard from Stu in terms of how his was doing. I mean, again, that Alfa Romeo with ballast historically has never been good with tyre wear.
No, it was come the end of the races around about the left front was about 60%, which isn't great, and it's red hot from about lap 2 onwards, and crew chiefs telling you you're overheating the left front, but there's not a lot you could do about it.
Just turn it off and ignore it. Go,
yeah, that's it. Like, especially the last corner, you want to get especially carrying the ballast, you need to try and get as good a run out of that corner as possible. So you do tend to over push it, like you'll be on the limiter in third, bang it to fourth, try and get as good a run as possible, because come the end of the straight, whoever's behind you is going to be coming past you, because it's not great in a straight line with a ballast on. So yeah, you're kind of overheating them out of the final corner. It just seemed every big corner was hard on the left front more than the right. The right stayed pretty much at the temperature you wanted it, but the left front took an absolute battering for some reason.
Well, it was. I mean, I think that's just the type of circuit it is, because it's clockwise, isn't it? It's a clockwise circuit.
It was a great circuit, I must admit. I was a little bit concerned about turn 1, and we did have a few incidents in turn 1 because it was quite tight. But on the whole, hopefully, I think everyone enjoyed the track.
I think it was a great track.
Very difficult to pick up with, as Stu was saying to start with. I for ages couldn't get out of a 42 lap time. For about a night and a half, I was just doing 42s, could not figure out where the time was. And then all of a sudden you'd take a slightly tighter line through turn 1 and turn 4, and all of a sudden you're half a second up, and it's like, oh, okay, there's quite a bit of time there. And then Nenad very kindly went, oh, come out and follow me for a few laps, and it slowly started to click. But like you say, when you're in the battle in the midfield, you just cannot get the lap time in. It's very, very difficult, especially and at the starter races as well, because you've got everyone sort of jostling for position. You're kind of having to brake earlier and try and guess where everyone else is going to go to try and get a run on the car ahead. But then the 2 cars up will jump out into the space that you were going into, and it just all slows you all up, and then you end up getting bumped from behind as someone's got a run on you. But it's it's brilliant. Yeah,
it was well, from our point of view, from the Spective point of view, it was brilliant. Really well done. I'm going to leave it there for now, Russ, because I want to talk to Steve Elwood before, obviously, I have to turn off for the evening. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, mate. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So again, 3 great races. Didn't really follow you. Well, I did follow you in race 3, actually. You spent a lot of time, again, battling with Bill Campion, Derek Neal, Carl Smith, and had a bit of fun there with Lava Lemming as well. Take us through that, because obviously in race 1 you finished in 16th position, but your lap times, especially between Bill Campion, Derek Neal and Smith, you're all about the same now.
Yeah. It makes for good racing, doesn't it? It's really fun. Tonight was a new one on me. I done a first night in VR, so it was an experience.
Wow.
So a few panic moments where the headset blacked out between the races. Lucky enough, it didn't happen in the race. So, but yeah, no, it was good. I think the pace was all right. Like I said, Neil was on fire. Keeping him behind me was hell.
That's
absolutely hell.
That's Derek
he was
Neal, not Stu Neal, if anyone's worrying about that.
yeah. God, yeah, he's way up there. Derek was so quick. It was. Yep. It was impossible to keep him behind me. I looked left and there he is. I could see the black car coming up beside me. And really, I just couldn't shake him off me. But
you're moving up the timing sheets. Again, from the start of the season, obviously you were less confident. We did talk about it, a few races ago, where you're getting more confident on the brakes, you're getting more confident in that battle. And obviously, especially, race two, you were there with Derek Neal, Bill Campion, Smith again. You're all on the same pace. But it's the little things now, it seems to be. One little mistake here, one little mistake there, and you're losing the positions or gaining the positions. Yeah. Are you finding that as well, or is it something else?
Yeah. It's, it doesn't take a lot to, especially with these cars, to make a mistake, and you do make a mistake, you get punished, and you just got to keep your head in it and keep pushing and try and clean it up just to get that place back. And especially on this track, I think this is one of those tracks where a slight mistake, that's going to lose you 3 places. It can, if you bunch together, do you know what I mean? It can be, but it was. I actually went into tonight with I don't know if Russ is still in, but I came into tonight with almost zero confidence, and I was pretty much just turning up to be a number, just have a car on the grid, and then I got lucky. Obviously, there were a few bumps at the front, and I was able to weave through it and then just pick it up from there. But overall confidence was there. Like I said, I practiced quite a few times this week, and I said to the boys, I said, I just can't put it together. I'm not the quickest anyway, but I know I'm quicker than this is. But I think in practice the best I got was like a 1:42.4, and I think that was with a toe. So I come into tonight, mate, with no. Because that might be why I'm a little bit further up. Maybe it take the pressure off a little bit. But at that last race, mate, the last 3 laps, I was sweating, mate. I was like, "What is going?" At one point, I even started to. I think it was like second from last. I even started to shake, and I was like, "Oh, wait," because I didn't even realize at that point I was up that far up, and then I kind of like glanced up, and I'm like, "Uh-oh."
I got a nosebleed. I'm so high up.
Yeah, and then obviously I was having a good bit of fun with Campion and Prieto was in the mix, and he was he races. I haven't had the pleasure of racing him often, but you have to be on your ball with him. Like you make a little mistake, he's up by the side of you and he's saying hello. So you've got to keep that door closed when he's close to you, haven't you? Do you know what I mean?
He races hard, but you can race him hard.
Oh yeah. No, I had no problems with him.
He's very much like that. But if you just let him a whisker that he can put his car in there, his car will be in that spot. It's like you see him
coming up behind you in the mirror, and you just like he's waiting. Just every corner I was coming up, and I was just thinking about where I'm braking, how hard to brake, and I think you just got to keep him behind you, because if you leave that gap, or if you brake a little too hard, or even not enough and overshoot, he's there. He's so. And then him and Bill got into a bit of a battle, which was great for me, because obviously they battle in front. They lose a bit of pace, and then I was able to get them two as well. So,
but it must also be as well. Obviously, you say there about wasn't really feeling the track, but it seems to be as Stu and Russ have both said, is that the pace just wasn't there, and then everyone's turned up tonight, and they're going, oh, I can just put it together. I'm looking at your lap times of what came up on the board, and you've ranged from a low 1:42.2 up to a 1:43. But again, I think you must have had an incident somewhere. But again, that's even the top drivers are swinging around to. Oh, I'm going to get so banned for saying that. Are 0.2 in terms of their high and low in their lap time. So it's not that far off when you actually look at it in that scale. And when I'm looking at your nearest rivals, Campion and Derek Neal and Smith, you're all lapping in the 142s there or thereabouts. There's nothing to separate any of you.
No, it's. I mean, poor Carl. He had a bit of a bad night. I think he deserves to be up a bit further up. But he's, he's Carl, and they're all good to race. They're all good fun. And
I think that's the key, though, isn't it? It's. You like you said, I just come to make a number, but you don't really, because you're in a fierce battle with 4 or 5 drivers.
Yeah. Well, when I thought that, like I said, I haven't. It's just been. Well, I've done a lot of. I've done quite a few. Well, I've done a lot of laps, and not many of them have even been legal laps. Most of them have been at some point, track limits or something. So I was just that in that sense. I was just struggling, but tonight I seem to put it all together, and I'll take it. I'll take it, man. You know what I mean?
I think it's a tough track. It's one of those tracks that if you get because it's clockwise and it's a very flowy track. If you don't get the rhythm, you can't. I think it's a difficult track.
And the other thing I've been struggling with while practicing was keeping the tires right, because I've all been cooking my tires. But tonight my tires were lovely. They were in the green all night, and I kept them that way. So I'm that's an achievement in itself for me. Just I'm normally used to seeing front left or right is bright red, and I'm thinking, oh, this is not good. But I was able to keep it nice and cool tonight, and just I think I just took my time, no rush. Didn't look in the mirror too much, and
it's a great 3 results, to be honest, and obviously race 3 was good results as well. So yeah, it's brilliant. Really, really well done. And stick at it. And if you're really bad, you end up talking.
Yes. Yeah. No. I'm in it now. I love it. It's getting better every week.
But I think what's nice as well is that you're all dragging each other along. And that's the key. Is that if you look at where you started, is that the AM series, the spread was quite big, but now when you look at it, you're not that far off. Weirdly, the Pro-Am guys, when you actually look at the data, you go, yeah, well, it's a 142.2 when I'm looking at yours. But, you look at someone like Carl Smith, and he's done it at one point, he did a 141.3, which isn't that far away. And you all can do that pace.
It's all about consistency,
and I think that's the key. That the pro guys, their consistencies are in the high 90s. They're in the real high 90s. And then the Pro-Ams are less than the AMs are less than that. But again, that comes with experience, I think, personally. But probably.
The more we race, the more about.
You're right,
so
you are right.
Yeah, no, I had a great night. I think we all did.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Not too much drama. I think it was good racing all round.
Right, I'm going to leave it there, boys, because I am at my curfew, as always. Thank you for joining us, Russ, Stephen, and Stu. Well done, Stu, for your double race victories. Well done, Russ, as well, and well done, Steve. I think the championships will all be blown open wildly, but I do know that Stu Neal, by pure maths, will have the most ballast next time out.
Certainly will.
That's going to be guaranteed. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy the rest of your evening, gentlemen, and your weekends.
You too, mate. Have a good one.
And talk
Thank
to
you, Andy.
soon.
Speak to you soon. Cheers, mate.
So there we go. That's it for this evening's proceedings. As always, great racing. Loved it from start to finish. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. As always, and don't forget to get yourself on Discord as well, because obviously Season 8 will be starting. Season 9 will be starting soon, which will be absolutely supreme. So there we are for this evening. All it leaves me to say is good night and farewell.